can you use AI for good, or can you use technology for good, or can things be redeemed in that way? And it just reminded me of the whole concept of the swords being beaten into plowshares, the spears being turned into pruning hooks.
In verse 4, he shall judge between the nations and shall decide disputes for many peoples. A king is coming. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. And those are the words that are on the building of the United Nations building in New York.
Sort of this eschatological vision of, it is a technology that, I mean, this is nuclear energy, this is dynamite, there's like, it kind of lives in this balance of, I wouldn't know if it's always a neutral space, but it's like, it can be used for good or for evil. It can, and being the kind of people who can rightly handle it, who can transform it into something that is ultimately redemptive and contributes to the well-ordered cosmos, I think is the aim, you know.
Yeah.
Even it's like, even the idea of like perception and what can you even see
with the AI. I think it'll be the third AI that might pull through.
It's like it's too early. We're not mature enough to handle it. Like maybe there's demonic forces, maybe there's some sort of spiritual beings that are giving that are helping us get access to things. It's like giving a child a chainsaw, you know. It's like, hey, this is a cool technology, hopefully you cut your arm off with it, is what the demons are thinking. But eventually the child is able to mature and handle it well, and now they can do good things with it. And so I think every generation faces the challenge of, how do we tame this technological force that is now in the world? And that's, I mean, I think that's, we've talked before, or maybe, I don't know who has mentioned, but like, what's it look like to be a saint in the technological age, or the internet age? What does it look like to use these things rightly? My kind of example in literature of this is Aragorn. So he sees the Palantir. Well, so first of all, you get Pippin, well, big picture. So Sauron has a Palantir, and he's corrupted through it by accessing Sauron. You do all kinds of amazing things in it. He thinks he's going to rule the world and bring it under his control, but of course Sauron, the dark force, is too strong for him. And then you've got Denethor, who goes crazy. He's got access to the Palantir, and it makes him go mad. Pippin touches it and gets very injured. He's like wounded on a deep soul level. And Gandalf is like, I'm not even going to touch this thing. Like, he covers it. He's like, don't let me near it. I don't want to even touch this. But Aragorn, of course, he uses the hands of the king, or the hands of healing. He's able to actually heal Pippin. And then he's also able to take the stone and become the master of the stone, because by wrestling, of course, with the Dark Lord and revealing himself, even that, he's using it in a way that's like even a little bit tricky. Like, it's not, he's deceiving the Dark Lord in a way. So he's able to master that by his, you know, his years and years of maturity and faithfulness and manly sort of integrity and all of these things. But yeah, that's kind of, I think, maybe the literary example of what it looks like in the.
Yeah, I really like that, you know, because Sauron and his armies are Saruman, this vast technological beastly force. I think we're all a lot like Pippin, just
exactly
the way we all. I mean, here we are staring through our mirrored stones, speaking to each other and reading and misreading, and you know, it's, you know, Pippin's use of the technology is just like this naive curiosity.
It's kind of what happened with me and psychedelics.
Right, yeah. Naive curiosity and enchantment and ignorance of what it is, you know, is like, and so but his naivete, you know, made Sauron miss Frodo, right? Like he started looking in all the wrong places. So, you know, the technology it's like manipulated without applying any intentionality to it. And yeah, it's interesting that Aragorn's able to use like subterfuge and trickery, things that we would think are, you know, wrong or a sin, in order to confound the enemy, use its powers against it. But of course, the trick there is that, like, the real object of technology was the ring, and the righteous thing to do was to destroy it.
It reminded me of you know, the Tower of Babel is this technical image, and you also had this. You mentioned this idea of the timeliness of it, and like whether or not it's, you know, we're just not ready for like the Palantir. You know, it's like approaching it in the right way at the right time. And it's like, I almost think about, because the technology there was the language, and this is where I, you know, I think this is super interesting, because language is like the most powerful technology in a sense, I think. And when we get it right, it's like everything, it fixes everything else in some way. And it's that once they had the language together, then they could do anything, you know, but it's just that maybe it wasn't the right time. You know, I think maybe now is the time where we have the universal language, and we come together in some way. Yeah, but Hezi,